This is Actar's Reviews, from anime to figures.
I am the pawn of my soul. Steel is my body and fire is my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, unknown to life. Have withstood the pain to create many weapons. Yet those hands will never hold anything. So as I pray, unlimited blade works. Warida.
Hey, this is Actar and welcome to Actar's Figure Reviews. Today we'll be taking a look at the Archer figure from the Hyper Fate collection made by Ebcraft. Now, the Archer figure is part of a two-set series, and the other one in the Hyper Fate collection is Saber. Alright, let's take a look at the box and we'll continue with the review. So first, for size comparison, you can see that the box is about almost twice the length of a DS Lite and about 1.5 times the size, the length, and well, it's a pretty big box, I can say that. The color of the box is red, and you see this maroonish, darkish red over here. It fades into it. You have the Fate Stay Night logo, Archer in silver lettering, Hyper Fate collection, and a quote for the game, from the game, because Fate Stay Night was originally an eroge/visual novel. At the sides, we see that we have the same thing as the front, the logo, the name, and the quote. At the back, we can see the magic circle that's been used by Rin and a number of characters in the game. At the top, Archer in silver lettering again. And at the bottom, we see the company's warnings and all the usual stuff as well. Now, this box is very, very beautiful. It's very simple in design. We can't see anything of the figure inside here. And it's actually a very, very beautifully done slipcase. Just a normal slipcase. And once the slipcase is removed, you can see the back of the box, Archer, and this is exactly the same thing as the front. We see a picture of the figure itself, and some other pictures of the features, accessories that are included, and various poses of the figure. Pretty much the same as a Figma box. Now at the front, we have a very, very beautiful windowed packaging, and the figure is not inside. Here's the plastic casing, and what else is included is a small instruction sheet as to how to change the bow from its standard mode to its firing mode. Not really firing mode, but have the string extended. Let's put the box aside, and this is the plastic casing. We can see the plastic casing is actually of two levels, one which contains 4 accessories, and another one which contains the main figure and a couple more accessories. Right, let's open it up and take a look at the figure in detail. And here is Ebcraft's Hyper Fate collection Archer figure. It is a very, very good figure when you first look at it. It's exceptionally detailed, and the colors are extraordinarily realistic. You can see that there's a fantastic amount of shading and detailing. Now, the main reason why I went with the Archer figure instead of the Saber figure from the same series is that, well, after watching the series, playing the game, and several of the other games, such as the Fate Unlimited codes for the PS2, and some of the doujin games like Crusis Fatal Fake, I absolutely fell in love with Archer's fighting style, his weapons, and his character. Absolutely beautiful. And also, after watching episode 14 of the anime like 1,500 times, I just love this character so much. He's definitely my favorite servant, and along with Rin, who is Archer's master in the series and the game, she is my favorite female character in the Tsundere. So together they make my favorite pair of the game. Let's leave it aside for now and take a look at this figure, because he's the subject of our review. Now, before we look at the articulation and the features and whatnot, let's take a look at the accessories. First of all, what is included is an extra face, and this is one of the main attractions for the Hyper Fate collection. This is what Archer would look like if he were a real person. It's a great feature to be added, and some people would like this. However, for me, I personally like the anime inspired face more. Next we have his sword, and this is Kaladbog, his spiral sword. Actually, I'm not sure what this is because neither in the game nor the Wikipedia article or the anime, there's no mention about this mask, but this is just an extra head of Archer wearing a mask. So we have his arrow, and if you see in the series, this is Kaladbog, the spiral sword, that has been modified to form an arrow, because one of Archer's specialties is to turn swords into firing weapons. And last but not least, we have his bow. He is an archer, so what's an archer without a bow? And this is his bow. One of the fantastic things about this is that the string is actual string. I know that some figures do not really like to include strings, but they really included a real string for this figure, and it is absolutely realistic in design. I love this touch, and if we've seen from the instruction previously, to actually pose Archer as if he's firing the bow, you need to change the string so that it's actually lengthened. We have a separate pair of hands, exchangeable hands, that do not have a hole in them. Bringing back the figure, here we have Archer, and let's take a look at his articulation. Oh, one last thing is his final accessory is his main weapons of choice, Kansho and Bakir. Absolutely beautiful dual swords. They are to represent the yin and yang, male and female. Twin swords, twin blades, and used as one weapon. The details on this are amazing because we can see the panel lines, and they're actually glowing red, while we have a black finish on this one, while we have a silverish whitish finish on this. The colors and painting on this is absolutely fantastic, and that is one of the things I love about this figure. For articulation, we have for the head, you can rotate it 360 degrees. The head is on a ball joint, and all you have to do to change the head is to just pull it off this ball joint. It is a bit loose, but it stays on pretty well as well. We have a double waist joint, one below his chest and one at his waist itself. His legs, we have forwards, backwards, in and out, and you can turn side to side. And his knees, we can see that it's double jointed, one's above the kneecap and one's below the kneecap. For his feet, they move forwards and backwards, a little bit side to side. His front of his foot is separately articulated. For his arms, we have forwards and backwards, in and out. His elbows are also articulated as a double joint, one's above and one's below his elbow. We can turn it left and right, and his wrists are on ball joints. Now, it may look like a fantastic figure at the start, but there are some significant problems with this figure that I shall elaborate on now. Now, first of all, his hands. Now, his hands are extremely tight, and getting the weapon to fit in his hand is a pain. Let me just say that. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do anything, but forcing the blade into the hand was a very, very hard thing to do, and it's practically impossible to take out because the bottom of the blade is actually much bigger than the hole in his hand. I'm not sure whether they made it this way, but it's one of the issues with this figure that I have. Another issue for the figure is that some of the joints are extremely tight, while others are very loose. Especially his knee joint, which is exceedingly loose. You see, it just flops around like that when you move the figure, and standing it up is an extremely painful thing to do. Actually, his leg, as you can hear, is extremely difficult to move. Those are the two main complaints of the figure, and at this moment I don't have any other complaints, but those two complaints seriously hinder the play value for this thing, especially when you enjoy posing your figures and taking pictures. It's pretty difficult to get the figure into a pose that you want to. Overall, I think this figure is a good figure because it is one of the figures of Archer that you can actually play around with. You can pose him, and he comes with a myriad of accessories. Now, those are the good points, but in terms of the build quality, the details and design is fantastic. Unfortunately, the joints are a real letdown, and it's a pretty expensive figure, so I would only recommend this figure to those of you who absolutely love Archer like I do, and just want a great figure of Archer that you can play around with. This is Zaktar saying, Unlimited Blade Works.